Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. That is a famous quote by our philosopher Plato. In this video, I'll be talking about three different important concepts of communication. I'll be covering perceptions of others, communications with friends, and I'll be talking about nonverbal communication. All three of these components have their role and effect in your communication. Listen to your eyes as well as your ears, is a quote by Graham Speasley. Some experts say 90% of all communication is nonverbal. What does this mean? This means we talk more and deliver a stronger message more through our body language, tone, and our physical appearance. This is important if you want to give off the correct message to your perceived audience. For example, let's say I am going to a job interview and they typically will want you to have a professional look that'll let you know that they're serious. But if I show up in my pajamas or casual clothing, then I will deliver a message that I'm not serious and that I may not be the right suit for this job. So instead, you'll have a professional attire that will give you the correct message that you are serious and you mean business. Another example of how nonverbal communication can affect our communication is by eye movement. For example, let's keep the same scenario where we're in the job interview and he's looking at me, asking me questions, and I'm looking all over the place rapidly from side to side, and I'm not really engaging in the conversation. Now this can display nervousness or distraction and display that I'm either nervous or I'm not really interested in what is going on right now. Now both of these examples aren't something that you want to give off to your interviewer. So an example how this has affected my life, well, for all of my job interviews, I'd always show up in a dress shirt and a tie. And I always got all the jobs I've had. And one manager, she even specifically told me that she gave me the job just because I dressed up in my dress shirt and tie. So this can have a profound effect and difference in your life just by your physical appearance and your eye movement and being fully engaged with your audience. How I perceive others can be harmful. So in my personal life, I once had this job at Red Lobster, and I was the new guy. And there was this other guy who I worked with, his name was Mike. Now Mike was a serious guy, he was always working, he wasn't really engaging in small talk, and I never really seen him joke around or have friendly banter or casual joking amongst the other coworkers. So I interpreted this as Mike is a serious guy. He may not be that friendly, and he doesn't really like to socialize, and maybe a bit intimidating. But through time, the opposite was actually true. What I found out was Mike was actually quite social himself, and he became quite a bit of a jokester. And this was opposite of my initial perception and interpretation of his behavior. And this is when I learned that just by looking at somebody and observing their physical and more visual behaviors, that there's more to the puzzle, and the best way to get to know somebody is by communication with them and getting to know them. Your visual observations can only be so strong. They can give you some messages, but they can only be so strong. Okay. Relationship maintenance theory is something that has really impacted my social life. My friends and I, we all have busy lives, and we all have work, school, and different goals that require our attention and energy. So sometimes we'll go periods of time without catching up or communication that we once had. So because of this, after learning about the relationship maintenance, we now have specific days that we usually will meet on throughout the week. Now this would be Tuesday or Sunday. For example, on either Tuesday or Sunday, we'll go out to eat at a sushi bar, typically on Sunday at the end of the week when we're not busiest and all of our other work is taken care of. And during this time, we'll catch up, joke around, have a good time, and enjoy each other's company, keeping our strong bonds that we want to keep. So, this is beneficial because you don't want to lose your friends, and you want to keep these strong bonds with the people you care about because you don't want to lose them. So, we've talked about how there's importance to nonverbal communication and how you can wrongfully perceive others and the importance of maintaining relationships. And we had strong, consistent socializing. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said by Peter Drucker. What this means to me that is not only do you have to listen to what they're saying vocally, you have to also pay attention to everything else. Body language, eye movement, physical appearance, and many other things, but those are to me the most important. When you take all these account, you can get the full message. Not only can you get the full message from others, but learning about these concepts in communication, you can then monitor your own communication and make sure that you're giving off the right message that you would like to give off of.